Hi everybody, I'm Rick Klinger from BearingPoint. Quite a lot of people in the audience. BearingPoint, if you don't know, we are the arm of KPMG. We're a consulting company out of KPMG. 10 years ago we went public. So we cover the public service sector, we cover financial sector, and cover commercial sector too. I am the global sourcing solution manager. And what that means is about 4 years ago, BearingPoint, most all consulting does this, had a fortitude to look ahead and say, we need to get behind some of the tools and technology and some of the changing things that Doug talked about earlier. And we need to put that, streamline that in one group, work for our recruiters so that we can become cost effective, look at what's working, what's not working. And then lastly, because our recruiters, as we found out, and Human Capital Institute always talks about, leaves our company because they're not getting the tools and technology to help them to find the candidate, find the right candidate. It's the #1 reason why recruiters leave. So we put the group together about 4 years ago, and I'm not going to say that we actually have it all down pat either. Although my friends in the audience might disagree with that, because if they talk to me, my ego probably thinks so. We're not. We certainly are working on a lot of things. Some of the things that Doug brought up today, we certainly are still working on quality of hire, bringing the statistics in one area, and the biggest thing, as we move to a talent management model, we're going to roll out a CRM, and that's key to bringing all of what you'll see and some of the tools and technology that we're using together in one area. Very key, and I've always bet my job on it, that way, but Jobs Web is helping us too. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is, obviously within consulting, and I know there's a few consultants, individuals here, is our clients are just as important as our candidates. So our marketing team works in tandem with we have a person in talent acquisition that I call the marketing czar that sits in talent acquisition and interacts with marketing, my group, and all of the recruiters. So one of the very first initiatives that we did with them was we built a Facebook corporate page. And we built this mainly in our campus. Now campus is not a strong point for us this year. It's kind of lessened a little bit, but it's still out there. And we actually have a corporate page that goes over all BearingPoint, and then we have a Facebook students and recent grads page within Facebook. And then we bring those people all back to campus, and campus monitors the traffic that goes through. What we want to do is bring that to a quality of hire metric so that we can do all of our sources out to 3 years and get a return on investment with that. And we're looking at many Checkster, we're looking at a lot of tools out there that can bring us to that. One of the things that I first started with when we had an on-demand group, and then that really worked with vendors out there, and then we had job boards. We had 3 or 4 job boards. And one of the things I wanted to focus on, I never understood, and a few of you might agree with this, is why we were going out to other databases, putting our jobs out there on the database, and then bringing them back to our database. That just never clicked with me. And I don't really think that the candidates are poor in job boards. I think the strategy that we put behind it is poor. We really don't watch the traffic. We weren't prepared for the traffic. Most corporations doubled and tripled their recruiters because of the traffic that was coming in. The candidates are the same. We just can't find them because all this traffic is coming in. So that bothered me a lot. So as we get into further into it, I'll tell you a little bit what was the first thing that we focused on in the GSS group. We also have really strengthened our recruiting community. This is my main page for our global sourcing community. All of our recruiters are on this. All of the sourcing updates, any training, like Shally's training that we go through, we put on there. We have forums on it. I don't know if everybody's been on Ning, but it's a closed network site that you can build. If you want to build your own family Ning site, you can. And as Doug spoke to, this is actually our GSS site, and it actually has forums. It has this meeting on it. The recruiters can all look. It's internal, but our point of bringing this forward is to actually build branding communities for talent that's out there. So if you're recruiters or you're a recruiter, you can bring all of your network community into a closed versus LinkedIn being open into a closed community. Talk to them. In our cases, we have managing directors that put out white papers that actually speak at conferences. And then we can bring the people in with podcasts, bring the community in, build these communities in a low time and source these people out and build referrals on that too. This is another picture of it. This is the community forum. Jobs2Web, as I spoke earlier, we partnered pretty early with Jobs2Web, I believe too. It's one of the things that I focused on, again, about the job boards. again, not necessarily saying the job boards were bad, I just didn't understand the philosophy behind what we were doing. And one thing I will say as we talk through the questioning session is that strategy is very important for any type of Web 2.0. And Web 1.0, I don't think we strategized very well on how we were going to. We just jumped on these job boards. We did, put all of our postings on there, and then the recruiters became recruiting managers, became recruiting directors, and a lot of people don't even remember the days of building communities and building talent on yourself and networking. I mean, I can't believe when I talk to recruiters and they absolutely think that the phone is not a networking thing. They think I'm like, the phone is the best thing that's out there. So it's funny how we're going back to the early days and bringing that back out, but we haven't trained our recruiters to do this. One thing with our partnership, and I'm sure we're all going to be talking about jobs to web, is it really answered the question of bringing people back to a landing page, bringing back to our database, pulling off the Google and Indeeds, and landing people so that we didn't have to put our jobs back out on job boards and then drag people back to our database. So this particular landing page is going to be blown up actually, and I was telling Doug this morning, we're working, I had a call this week, we're going to segment all of our skill sets out and have different landing pages so that our recruiters now can build a talent community off those landing pages and skill sets. So SAP goes across our public service sector, goes across our financial sector, goes across our commercial sector. Well, our 60 recruiters are not even talking to each other. This will allow them, as we build our talent communities, to build off of those individuals that land on those communities or into their jobs and discuss those individuals with each other. One of the other things, again, with consulting is obviously alumni. Every individual that comes into BearingPoint is either a client or a possible candidate. So we look at everybody, and an alumni and boomerang are very important to consulting. So we built an alumni off of Select Minds, and I want to say I throw out a lot of companies here. I'm not advocating one or the other, but certainly I can talk about any of the ones we use afterwards. But Select Minds is the actual page that we land on and bring. This all sits in HR, but Select Minds powers all of the individual landing page for everything. And then we work with First Advantage to harvest it out on the website. GSS actually 2 years ago started working with HR and alumni so that our recruiters now can come in, and if they have a hard skill set, we ask everybody in alumni to self-identify if they want to be notified if they want to come back or such. So we can actually go through our alumni, pick all these S&P individuals that we may need or some other skill set, and then we can work through recruiting to try to get them back on. So we have a two-way communication through our alumni. Okay, there's the alumni network page. Somebody asked a question, we are definitely in LinkedIn. We've been an early partner with LinkedIn. We started with the pro accounts. I don't know if you've seen this year, they moved the pro accounts to a monthly status, and they're not actually doing an account rep on it. They're allowing you to go out with your visa, and that's it. They're not giving you any stats on it or anything because they want to push everybody to the recruiter package. We have about 15 recruiters, so out of recruiters, 15 are on the recruiter package. I have again, you spoke about it, I have my doubts about a lot of things. LinkedIn is very expensive, as we know, and you can do a lot with the free account. Again, it falls into the strategy. Your recruiters, if you have full life cycle recruiters or you are a full life cycle recruiter, you just do not have time in your day, and it's getting worse as we're cutting into the recruiting organization. So I think there's a lot of avenues around it, and we certainly can talk afterwards. But if you do have the money, which probably nobody does, it is definitely a short step to cut from the free account and you actually get to keep all the data in the recruiter also. But your recruiter can still build their LinkedIn, and as Doug's going to still lead with their individuals. So I have a lot of pro and cons on LinkedIn. But again, wow, it's gotten us somewhere we have not seen in the last 5 years. I certainly want to investigate a company. I go right out. They're rolling out a whole bunch of things. I don't know if everybody's been on their calls. They've had 2 calls, but they're rolling out some great things. We're actually possibly going to use them if you're in consulting. They actually now will kind of spider your other individuals in your company and then tell if you want to call into a company like our business development managers, they'll tell you everybody in your company that's linked into that company and then allow them to introduce you to the person that you're going out to for sales, that's amazing. But again, where's LinkedIn? Where are they going to go with this? And on that, the question of calls for their rollout, that was brought up a lot. Who are you? Because we're beginning not to understand who you are. So, okay, that's it for me. Thank you.